All right, it is this Sunday rather, and the date is 11th of July. Thank you so much for making time for the program tonight here on Lookuptv. This is Lookup Weekend, and as what we normally do on Sundays is we look at what is making headlines and also the big numbers. So tonight we'll be focusing on NHIF rather, and this particular big burden that has become a subject of debate in the country for the past 3 weeks. I'll be telling you why that matters to you and what it is doing to patients who depend on the NHIF cover for treatment. Also tonight, we'll be looking at enforced disappearance. Well, I'll be speaking to a representative from Haki Africa, just trying to understand what is happening, because it is something that was promised by the president that it will be a subject that will not be talking about anymore. But right now, seems to have re-emerged. What does that mean? We'll be getting into the details of that in this particular broadcast. My name is Brian Amuaya. Sign language interpreter tonight is Angel Lois. These are the top stories tonight. On Lookup Weekend tonight, a family in Komarok is living in fear after their kin was allegedly abducted with no trace. Plus, Kindiki vows to weed out rogue church leaders duping their followers. Also tonight, Magarini residents hold demos after their houses were torched in a protracted land tussle. And President William Ruto declares Kenya will remove visa restrictions for Djibouti citizens. Now, remember you can be part of the program by engaging us on our socials. Satamoy Brian on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag we are using tonight is Lookup Weekend, or the big number if you may. Now listen, just a reminder that we'll be talking about enforced disappearance here on the program. Tell us exactly what you think about this particular subject and also our other stories, and also just remember to tell us exactly where you are watching us from, and I'll be able to sample some of your feedback as we continue with the program tonight. Where do you send this particular feedback? Well, on our socials at Lookuptv, that is on Twitter, and also at Lookuptv on Facebook and on YouTube. Let's get started. Now we begin our bulletin on the crime front rather, where Haki Africa Executive Director Hussein Khalid now says police could be involved in the enforced disappearances in the country. And as Ian Keitani now reports, his sentiments come barely weeks after the disappearance of Yusuf Gassana, who was picked from his home by unknown people.
Potea tarehe 30, siku ilikuwa ni Tuesday. Wakati ilikuwa ni between saa 12:30 na saa 1 hivyo.
With the cases of enforced disappearances being reported in the last few weeks, the Haki Africa Executive Director has put the police force on the limelight, insisting that they could be involved in this crime.
In less than 10 days, watu wamechukuliwa majumbani mwao, and we highly suspect that those involved in the abduction or the kidnapping are security officers working under the Kenya Kwanza regime. It is embarrassing that we have a CS who is a professor of law, Kindiki, and this is happening under his watch.
His sentiments comes days after Yusuf Gassana, a social worker and religious leader in Dandora and Kayole, was kidnapped by unknown men from his Komarok residence.
Ni mwanaume wanamuuliza mambo na vacant. Na akawa anawauliza nani amemwambia hapa kuna vacant na mumeingia aje na ni usiku, wakamwambia ni watchman wamemwambia kuna vacant. Akawaelezea hapa hakuna mambo na vacant iko hapa. Mtoto amekuja kwa mshtuko mkubwa sana, na ananionyesha nisiseme sana, sio wageni hao, ni wakora na wameshika baba vibaya. Yani wako na moja amemshika mkono nyuma, mwingine anamwambia toa kila kitu. Kwa hiyo kajaketi kadogo alikuwa amevaa kwa vest.
According to Yusuf's wife, despite reporting the incident to the local authorities, their efforts have been fruitless, insisting that their kin was not under any investigations, neither had he been questioned before.
Tumefika tukaripoti tu, wakaandika hiyo OB. Si tukakaa tu tukatulia, tukasema maybe tuone tutasaidika aje. Kama jana ndio OCS amekuja kwangu, ananiambia kweli wamepewa ruhusa ya kuangalia, lakini niendelee kungojea ripoti. Kwa ukweli mume wangu sijawahi sikia akinielezea kama kuna shida yoyote iko nayo. Hakuna kesi na polisi najua iko nayo ama amewahi kuwa nayo.
Khalid also decried the return of forced disappearances in the country, calling upon Interior CS Kindiki to ensure such acts are dealt with accordingly.
President Ruto spoke very clearly when he took over that the security apparatus under his regime will operate strictly within the confines of the law. What has happened in the last 10 days goes against his remarks, goes against his type of leadership that he has announced to Kenyans, and goes against the constitution and the laws of the land. So as an organization, we are appealing to the Kenya Kwanza regime to make sure they nip this problem in its bud before ifike ikue, something extremely serious.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, that particular story will be forming the basis of our discussion tonight. We'll try to make sense of enforced disappearances here in the country with a representative from Haki Africa. I'll be getting into that later on, but let's continue with the news. Now, the Parliamentary Committee on Finance has reached a consensus on all controversial clauses in the Finance Bill of 2023. Now, the committee that is led by Molo MP Kuria Kimani agreed to amend some of the controversial clauses after a 5-day retreat in Naivasha. As they wrap up before the tabling of the report in Parliament this coming week, the Finance Committee in the National Assembly is confident that the bill will be accepted in Parliament. In the last couple of weeks, the issue of the 3% housing levy and 16% VAT on petroleum products has dominated talks, with the opposition calling for the bill to be withdrawn. But addressing the press in Naivasha, Chair of the committee Kimani Kuria exuded confidence that the bill will be accepted by Parliament come Tuesday, when it will be tabled. He said that they have looked into all the recommendations handed over to them and included them in the 137-page document.
Come to an agreement as members of the Committee on Finance and National Planning, and you're going to table our report on Tuesday, following which now on Wednesday we're going to start a debate on it. It's going to go to the Committee of the whole House, and then thereafter go to the third reading. So I'm happy to report that we are in agreement as a Committee of Finance and National Planning on the matters that we have deliberated upon on end, and we really appreciate all the feedback that we've got from the public, from the stakeholders. It has been quite a very engaging.
The MP was, however, coy on the issue of the housing levy and the VAT on fuel products, noting that this will be made public once the document was tabled in the House.
We are going to make amendments to several clauses. We have also tied ends because there's some clauses, for example, that the definition could be prone to abuse. So there are some that's been tightening on, for example, the definition to make sure again that our tax policy becomes simple. The report. So the report that we do has to balance the financial implications. So where we disagree, where we are making an amendment, if it's for example, because we have the matrices for the financial implication, we must make sure that we actually get somewhere else to raise those revenues. Because if you make an amendment that has a huge financial implication, you must find a way of recouping that financial implication so that you're able now to fund the budget. Otherwise, you're going to get to a crisis where we have approved.
He revisited the issue of borrowing, noting that currently the country was financially crippled due to the burden of debt that was affecting development projects. The MP said that the committee had made recommendations that will see borrowing reduced so that the country will sustain itself.
With the amendment, Kenyans stand at risk of missing out on understanding on this bill by reducing it to just a one-clause item. it's 137-page documents, and every clause there has an implication.
The Molo MP lashed out at those who were demonizing the whole report based on two issues, adding that the bill had many positive things, but the debate had taken a political angle.
Unfortunately, the debate about the bill has taken a political twist, and it's really sad when I hear members of parliament saying that you have to withdraw the entire bill, members of the public saying, members of parliament saying that you're going to go on streets. You know, our colleagues from opposition and even some from our coalition should know that they can actually write to the speaker and make amendments. And this is...
Now, Interior CS Kindiki has appealed to the leaders of the Kenya Kwanza and those of the opposition to discuss in Parliament on the controversial finance bill, saying that the government will not accept protests. Now, speaking at the Methodist Church of Kenya, Tharaka Nithi County, Kindiki has once again emphasized that the government will not backtrack in enforcing laws to regulate churches all over the country. Audrey Cherotich with the story.
Speaking at the Methodist Church of Kenya in Tharaka Nithi County, Interior CS Kindiki has once again announced that the government will not backtrack in its plans to regulate churches.
Hatutatishwa na mtu yote, hata akiwa kiongozi wa kanisa, kusema ya kwamba ati serikali isiingilie watu ama isilete sheria ambao ingezuia watu ambao wanafanya mambo kama yale yamefanyika pale Kilifi.
Kindiki warns that although there is freedom of worship, there are laws that must be followed to ensure preachers will not mislead believers.
Uhuru wa kuabudu haijumuishi uhuru wa kuua watu ambao hawana hatia.
And in relation to the controversial financial bill of 2023, Kindiki has made an appeal to the leaders of Kenya Kwanza and those of the opposition to hold discussions in Parliament and reach an amicable solution.
Hatuwezi tukubali ukiwa na malalamiko ati sasa uvunje duka ya mtu, ati sasa ulete wakora wakijisingizia ni maandamano waanze kudunga watu visu. Hatutakubali uingie katikati ya jiji ya Nairobi mahali wakina mama wanauza mboga nini na kuharibu biashara za watu.
And if there are controversial issues still emerging, the CS says it is good as a country to follow the democratic process to deal with the matters.
Lazima tujifunze wakati tuko na malalamiko yoyote ya kisiasa, ya kiuchumi, unafikiri umefinyiliwa mahali, wewe sema malalamiko yako, na vile vile tutumie taasisi za kisheria na kikatiba kusuluhisha malalamiko yetu.
Audrey Cherotich, Lookuptv.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called for the support of the finance bill. Now, speaking in Laikipia County, where he attended Sunday Mass, Gachagua stated that the move will enable the government to fulfill its development projects. The DP also assured the residents of Laikipia of their security.
Mambo ya finance bill, mumesikia viongozi wameongea. Hawa ndio wamechaguliwa na watu. I know we are saying is very simple. Iko mabarabara mingi ilisimama inataka pesa. Pale munataka boreholes. Akina mama wale zaidi ya 70 years wanataka pesa yao mwisho wa mwezi. Hizi pesa lazima tutoe pahali fulani na hatutaki kukopa deni kwa sababu Kenya karibu ipigiwe kengele. Tuko na deni ya 9.6 trillion. Hata tukikopa tutalipa na nini? Sasa kutuambia tukope, tuchukue tulipe mishahara, hiyo ni kitu ambaye ni ujinga kwa sababu utalipa na nini? So tupatiwe nafasi tujaribu. Vile pia tumeambia ma-OCS, hakuna OCS tutapiga transfer. Hapana. Kwa sababu wewe OCS kama ni mtu ya kushikana na watu ya madawa na ya pombe na kuchukua hongo, tukipiga wewe transfer That is stupid. It's transferring a problem to another part of Kenya. Si ndio? So kama ni station commander, kama kwako iko pombe, iko madawa, pia uamue. Kiona umechoka na kazi, hakuna shida.
All right, now we do want to take a short break here on Lookup Weekend. Continue engaging us on our socials. At Amoy Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag we are using is Lookup Weekend. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the enforced disappearance, trying to make sense of that. I have a representative here, Michael Kuria from Haki Africa. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a moment.
Nyakua mita na Lotto every hour. Get into the Lotto money train and win big. Mara hii you win 20,000 times pesa zako. 50 bob inakushindia 1 million shillings every hour na up to 40 million shillings every day. Usiwachwe nyuma. Mamili ni moto moto na Lotto. Nenda kwa M-Pesa paybill number 777-000. Andika neno look kama account name. Cheza na kati ya shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ubambido na Lotto.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
KM Lookup Media, the holding company for Muthingi and Lookuptv, proudly presents the Mount Kenya Region Roadshow. It's time to mark your calendars because from June 26 to July 1st, 2023, we are bringing the excitement to Kiambu, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Embu, Meru, Laikipia, Nyeri, Nyandarua, and Nakuru counties. Are you ready to be a part of an electrifying TV roadshow? Join us as we embark on a thrilling journey through the magnificent Mount Kenya region. Lookuptv and Muthingi TV are hitting the road. We are coming straight to your towns. But that's not all. We are not just bringing you TV. We are bringing you an unforgettable experience. Enjoy your favorite comedians like Njoro wa Ukulima ni Mali, Marafiki, among others, live performances, and get a chance to meet your favorite TV personalities right in your own town. To our sponsors and partners, book your slot for the greatest brand experience and conversions. To book this fast-moving opportunity, call 0110-430-158 or email sales@lookuptv.co.ke. Get ready to be swept off your feet as we bring the magic of television to your doorstep. Let the TV adventure begin.
In a world where every voice matters, where women and children need our unwavering support, Muthingi TV's Muthoni Nyarari stands out, and it's for this reason that she has been nominated for the AfriGlow Women Choice Awards 2023 as the presenter of the year. Your voice matters. Your support counts. To vote for Muthoni Nyarari, dial *483 *733 *551212#. Together, let's amplify our voices and bring attention to the issues that matters the most.
So the story we're telling today is a story of passion in practice that grows into business.
We have partnered with the Youth Fund, talk to as many youth as possible and work with them
owed their hand. It is an expose of captains who have decided to take on challenges in different sectors and industries within the country.
My mentors had also not started as CEOs. They grew up and they showed me how they grew in the organizations. So that's what motivated me to actually do international business. And it was a good experience.
As an individual, support in bridging the care gap, part of me also to offer a solution. I want to leave this world a better place than I found it.
This is the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage.
All right, welcome to the program tonight here on Lookup Weekend. We, like I promised you earlier, getting into a conversation tonight where we want to talk about enforced disappearance. We did run a story, just our first story tonight was about enforced disappearance in the country, and there's a scare. It's kinda re-emerging. We want to get into the details of that, and I have a representative here, Michael Kuria from Haki Africa. Thank you so much for making time, man.
Thank you very much, Brian, for inviting us here.
Okay.
It's Lookuptv.
Okay.
We are so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And let's just start. How bad is this situation when it comes to, you know, re-emergence of enforced disappearance? Because this is a conversation that we've been having in the country for a while, and ever since this new government took place, it looked like it is something that now we are going to put in our past, but seems to be re-emerging. How bad is it for now?
Well, you know, Brian, even when there is one person who has been forcibly disappeared, that one person is way too many.
Okay.
When it comes to human life, when it comes to human dignity, even one person is too much. The trend has been, we have had an improvement from the last regime.
Okay.
We have had a few cases this year, and late last year under this Kenya Kwanza regime. However, seeing that these cases are re-emerging raises eyebrows.
Okay.
We need to be cautious. We need to speak out, because it starts with 1, then goes to 2, goes to 10, goes to 50. So we need to speak out as early as possible. As much as there's an improvement, we also need it to be zero. We don't need any cases of disappearances.
Okay. Let's come to what will be the contributing factor to these disappearances. From where you sit in the organization, what do you look at and say, now this is maybe the standing out factor that contributes to these disappearances?
Well, a lot of factors, a few factors. Some of them are political. You know, when people are trying to settle political disputes,
okay.
Some people do not agree with their views. Sometimes the state, we have some rogue officers. Like if you remember last year, there was a unit that was disbanded by His Excellency, the President.
Okay.
There are very many factors. Sometimes the state feels that it needs to deal with some people in a certain way that is extra legal. But we are a democracy. We have the rule of law. The law must be followed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's come back to this particular issue and this particular case that we're talking about today. Shed some light on that one so far. What do we know about it?
Well, it is very unfortunate that Yusuf was kidnapped from his house in the presence of his very young girl. That young girl, I'm sure where she is, she's very traumatized. And it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks are coming to an end real soon. And he has not been found. There is little to no information about what might have transpired. There is nothing that the family can think about. And it is saddening for them, because you realize for such a family, now you have left them in a very awkward situation. The mother has to be the provider. The children have to now start living without a father in the house, and they do not know where he is or who took him, and why.
In terms of pursuing justice for this particular family, where would you say they are, or the justice system is, in terms of just making sure that they look for Yusuf and find him?
Well, I would say I don't think much has been done.
Okay.
Much could be done. The police, the authorities ought to investigate further. They need to move with speed, because for victims of disappearances, some of them end up dead.
Okay.
For example, last year there were 22 cases of disappearances. One was found dead. No, 6.
Okay.
There are 15 who have not been found up to this day. So you can presume them dead. You will not be wrong to presume them dead. So I think the authorities ought to do much more. They need to move with speed. And with the resources we have as a country, I think if we put our seriousness into it, we can be able to find these people and bring them back home.
All right. Let me come to, before I ask the question in regards to whether we are doing enough as a government in terms of looking for people. When people come to Haki Africa looking for justice and just to have their voices amplified, what do you take them through to make sure that they are at peace at the end of the day?
Well, ours is to help them to get justice. We don't do it for them.
Okay.
We work with them. We have psychosocial services. We have legal services. We'll tell them what they can do. We'll advise them where to start, where to go. If we are able to connect them with people who can be of help. And because we also work with other civil organizations, we are able to amplify their sound. For example, I'm here today with you. You have done that story, so now at least many people know what is happening.
Okay.
But that's just a brief of what we do.
Okay.
It involves a lot of things. We have a process. They come, we tell them to record a statement, and we help them. We guide them until we are sure we have done our best to help them seek justice.
Okay. Now, in just having the family calm down, I'd like to understand what goes into that. Just making sure that because at the end of the day they are trusting you. When they have tried other means and nothing seems to be happening, when they decide that they're going to seek the help of Haki Africa, they're depending on you. How heavy is that for just Haki Africa itself?
Well, we are very happy to help, especially when someone comes to us and they have put all their hope on us. We are happy that they have that trust with us.
Okay.
At Haki Africa, Haki Africa has been in existence for a very long time. We have a very able executive director, Hussein Khalid. You may have seen him on very many occasions.
Totally.
And he's experienced. We have very experienced staff. So once a case comes to Haki Africa, you can rest assured that we will not rest until we have done up to the last bit we can.
Okay, now let's come back to, because you mentioned last year we had about 22 and 6 appear dead. Do you feel like there recent developments in regards to the same, and also the statement by the president just when he was taking office? Have we seen any positive outcomes in the fight against enforced disappearance from where you sit?
Well, to be fair, yes, we have seen a positive outcome. This year we have not had very many cases.
Are we looking forward to having many?
No, we don't look to having many cases, but then compared to the other years, we see that up until recently, we have not had cases, but then we have had 2 cases in the last 10 days. That is alarming.
Oh, 2 cases in the last 10 days?
The last 10 days.
Okay.
And those are the confirmed cases. You know the nature of enforced disappearances, it's a very secretive crime. But however, sometimes it comes with a lot of impunity, such that even state officials, state actors are not even careful when they pick people for example, last year, I think 18 months ago, the case of Tekle Michael, he was picked in the street while people were recording in the plain view, left the car there. But you'd say, let's be fair with the government, we can say they have tried. But then, with these cases, as I had said earlier, you never know. Maybe we have had 2 cases in the last 2 weeks, But
those are the ones that we know of, right?
Those are the ones that we know of.
So maybe, God forbid, that something is happening behind the scenes and people are disappearing and we have no idea where they are.
You can never be sure.
Let me come to, as we wind up on this conversation, in your opinion, what do you feel are some of the challenges and obstacles that maybe hinder the progress of finding people that are forced to disappear?
Well, the challenges are there. I think from what I think, funding of these state agencies that are tasked with finding these people. Sometimes you go report a case and they do not treat it as priority.
Okay.
If you remember about the case of the cult in Shakahola, it has been happening for a long time, and it is not that people were not reporting. It is because it was not prioritized.
Okay.
They felt that it's not a very urgent thing. So I think if we are able to commit a lot of, not a lot, but enough resources to these things, we have people who are on standby to deal with it, and people who are willing, also it is a matter of willingness.
Yeah.
You might have people leading those departments, but they are not willing to help. You cry out to them for 1, 2, 3 years and they are doing nothing.
All right.
However, I think we can improve. We usually call on all actors, state, non-state, civil societies, international communities, the media like you, to come and help us. It's too much work for
just an organization.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Michael Kuria, for your insights on this particular issue. And I really do hope that the people that, the families that are actually in trouble right now, in agony, get to find peace and find their loved ones. All right, thank you for making time.
Thank you very much, Brian.
All right, we want to take a short break here on Lookup. Don't go too far. I'll be back with more, including the big number tonight. We'll be focusing on the burden that is, the money owed to hospitals by NHIF. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today on 011 0430 158, 011 0430 158 or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
Mizizi Africa Homes is Kenya's fastest growing property development company. We offer home and investment solutions that are cost-effective and of the highest quality. If you are an aspiring homeowner, look no further than Mizizi Africa Homes for the best competitive rates in town. Introducing our new project at Bustani ya Mizizi in Malindi, a prime property with close proximity to Malindi Town, Sandy Beach, international hotels and airport, private, public schools and hospitals, commercial area and police stations, fertile land, well drained with a perimeter fence all round, sufficient borehole and county water, electricity and man-made water harvesting dams for farming and fishing. Retire mapema bila pressure and grab yours today. An 8th acre at only 99k with ready title deeds. For installment payment, deposit 50%, balance in 6 months installment. Financing option available. Bustani ya Mizizi in Malindi. Mapema ndio best. For more information, contact us on 020-790-2215 or WhatsApp us on 0742-112-215, www.miziziafricahomes.com and email info@miziziafricahomes.com. Our offices are at Westlands, Watamu Court, Room 3, opposite Sarit Center. Mizizi Africa Homes, together building a solid foundation. KM Lookup Media, the holding company for Muthingi and Lookuptv, proudly presents the Mount Kenya Region Roadshow. It's time to mark your calendars because from June 26 to July 1st, 2023, we are bringing the excitement to Kiambu, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Embu, Meru, Laikipia, Nyeri, Nyandarua, and Nakuru counties. Are you ready to be a part of an electrifying TV roadshow? Join us as we embark on a thrilling journey through the magnificent Mount Kenya region. Lookuptv and Kindiki are hitting the road. We are coming straight to your towns. But that's not all. We are not just bringing you TV. We are bringing you an unforgettable experience. Enjoy your favorite comedians like Njoro wa Ukulima ni Mali, Marafiki, among others, live performances, and get a chance to meet your favorite TV personalities right in your own town. To our sponsors and partners, book your slot for the greatest brand experience and conversions. To book this fast-moving opportunity, call 0110-430-158 or email sales@lookuptv.co.ke. Get ready to be swept off your feet as we bring the magic of television to your doorstep. Let the TV adventure begin.
Now, thank you so much for staying with us here on Lookup Weekend. With the program tonight, we continue. Now, residents of Majengo area of Kanagoni in Magarini sub-county have held peaceful demonstrations protesting against the torching of their houses and destruction of properties by a tycoon who allegedly claims ownership of the land they live in. Now, carrying pangas, logs and other crude weapons, the angry residents claimed the tycoon wanted to forcefully evict them from their parcels of land where they have been living for decades.
After a night of turmoil and catastrophe, this is the situation: burned homes and decimated property. Residents of Majengo area in Magarini sub-county are up in arms after an arson attack that they allege has been perpetrated by a tycoon seeking to evict them from their land.
Shambani nikaona kuna mzee wa kijiji alikuja na mzee mwingine kutoka Kamale. Huyu mama anaitwa Ngata na mzee mwingine anaitwa Jack, ambao wanasema haya maneno ni yao. Sasa wakati walipoingia wakaja wakapiga hii picha, hii tangi picha. Wakaipiga picha alafu wakarudi kwa upande wa Kamale. Halafu tuko pale ndio nikasikia watu wakipiga makelele upande wa juu, kumbe nyumba ilikuwa imeanza kuchoma.
Langu ni hili hapa, tumekuja tangu 2013 tulipoingia hapa, kulikuwa tumeletwa na serikali na kulikuwa hakuna wenyewe, lakini sasa hivi tunaumia, tunapigwa, tunaumizwa, tunachomewa vitu. Sisi tulikuwa kwa kazi, tulipotoka kule tumefika nyumbani, twaona watu wanachoma huku, wanavunja, wakichoma majumba. Kufika pale nyumbani tupate msaada wa kutoa vyombo tuweke nje, tukaingiliwa kupigwa. Mepigwa kabisa, humu mote ni malama matupu mwenye mwili. Mpaka nikawa siwezi kabisa, tukachukua vitu wakarudisha ndani ya nyumba, wakachoma manguo, wakakata vyombo, masufuria, kila kitu. Sasa sisi tunauliza hivi, tunaishi Kenya ama si Kenya huku?
The residents claim the tycoon, accompanied by over 60 goons from Kamale, invaded their land and began torching houses while others destroyed their properties. The residents are now calling on the government to intervene as they are living in fear, as the goons left a note saying they will come back to kill people if the residents will not have moved out of the land.
Ndio tunaishi kwa hofu, manake wakati huo walipochoma hizo nyumba, walipotoka waliandika barua kwamba wanaenda tena watarudi waje wachinje.
David Alex, Lookup TV.
Now, President William Ruto has announced that Kenya has concluded the process of abolishing visa requirements for nationals of Djibouti traveling to Kenya. During a joint press conference with his Djibouti counterpart, President Ismail Omar, on Sunday, Ruto stated that visa-free trips will increase people-to-people engagement between the two countries.
How are you? Your son is here. Yes.
All right, that is President William Ruto in Djibouti. Coming back to the country, even as the government continues with the push for the Finance Bill 2023 in Parliament, Kenyans still continue to decry the high cost of living. Innocent Ogaro sampled Kenyans' opinions on the ongoing economic meltdown.
Even as Kenyans continue objecting the tsunami of taxes emanating from the Finance Bill Proposal 2023, these are some of the opinions from Kenyans in regards to the high cost of living in the country.
Kitu iko juu, of which hatuwezi hata ongelea mambo ya uchumi ya Kenya. Iko katika hatari kabisa. Mwananchi wa kawaida anaumia, mwananchi wa kawaida hawezi kujumudu kupata chakula kuweka kwa meza. Vile vile karo ya shule, mwananchi wa kawaida sahi haezi jumudu kusomesha mtoto kwa sababu gharama ya maisha imeenda juu kabisa.
So high cost of living imeni affect sana juu tukiangalia rates zilikuwa za kitambo na saa hii bado ni the same. So vile fuel imepanda, inafuata watu wa Uber ama Bolt wanatuconsider kulingana na vile mafuta imepanda.
Serikali inafaa kuangazia, ione mtu mwenye ako na mtoto juu watoto wengi hata wako manyumbani saa hii hawaendi shuleni. Watu wenye wana watoto kama sisi, kama mimi kwa mfano, nimeshindwa hata vile naweza pea watoto kila wanaweza kula. Inafaa serikali iangalie.
Mimi kama youth, economy imekuwa mbaya. Hata sisi wenyewe kuhustle haipatikani. Story na food mara imekuwa uchumi iko juu. So unapata kitu umepata hata kidogo, huwezi jisaidia, huwezi saidia mamako, huwezi saidia babako. Yaani uchumi umekuwa tu juu.
So angalie mambo na economy kwanza, angalie venye unga imepanda, mambo na sukari imepanda. Hata kwa pikipiki tukipata hata 300 au 500, unafaa ulipe pikipiki ni ya loan. Unafaa upate familia yako, uko na familia maybe uko na bibi na watoto, lazima wakule kwanza.
Hii ni 120. Naumia. Niko na wanasema ICS. Wanaumia. Mimi mwenyewe nalipa 3,000 nyumba.
It is a picturesque of atomic confusion in the country, even as Kenyans express their viewpoints regarding a myriad of economic constraints in the country at the moment. But the philosophy on the table still remains. Did Kenya Kwanza regime fake their pledges during their presidential election campaign? Innocent Ogaro, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
That is Innocent Ogaro bringing you the situation on the ground. Away from that, tonight, women with problems that arise while giving birth will benefit from the free fistula operation at the Litein Hospital. Now, Dr. Elijah Terer, CEO of Litein Mission Hospital, said the services will be provided and assisted by doctors from the United States. The activity is expected to last for 2 weeks. Achi Matumona with more on this particular story and the counties.
Speaking in Kericho County, Dr. Elijah Terrell said the services will be offered for free and screening services have already begun. He continued by saying those who have undergone screening process will later proceed to operation and after that they will be admitted for observation. The exercise is expected to take 2 weeks and he appealed to the public with relatives with fistula problem to visit the facility.
Done for free. They won't pay anything.
God has gone ahead of them, and the bill has been settled by these great friends.
And I'm one of the fistula surgeons, and enjoying being here with Dr. Terrer, who I've known for about 12 years.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, the government has been urged to support talents in technical schools in order to equip learners in talent job markets. Gaps were also identified in public schools' polytechnic infrastructure that needed to be dealt with.
The biggest asset tuko nayo Kenya ni youth wetu. Na ile shida tumekuwa nayo sana ni lack of jobs, as in opportunities za vijana wakipanda juu. The best thing, watu wako na talent wana give up. So because talent hailipi, mtu ana give up. Na talent ni ile kitu Mungu amekupea. Kama serikali inaweza support talents za vijana wetu, hatungekuwa na shida mob sana ya unemployment.
Nominated Senator Esther Okenyuri and Kasarani Member of Parliament Captain Rodal Karuri have urged youths who are mostly affected by drug abuse to engage themselves in activities such as drama and music, which will be a source of income in the near future.
Leo nimefurahia kuona vijana hapa wakiwa na talanta mbalimbali, na ambao wanatusikiliza leo wanafaa kujua kuwa talanta zinalipa, na serikali hii imezipa talanta za vijana kipaumbele kwa sababu serikali inataka vijana kujitegemea na kutengeneza hela kutoka kwenye talanta zao.
Last but not least, the spouse to the Deputy President Pastor Dorcas Rugathi had the inaugural family marital counseling session for uniformed and disciplined officers at the Kenya School of Government in Kabete on Saturday. She said the plan is an advanced stage waiting for the confirmation of her date. The solemnization of the marriages of the disciplined servicemen and women is expected to protect women and children from agonies they go through when claiming for the benefits of their kin who die in line of duty.
The reason why that certificate may be very important is to secure your family, to secure your wife, and to secure your children.
During the session, the officers were taken through the marriage registration by the Deputy Registrar of Marriage, Victor Okotoi.
As NAPOA, I'm in that forefront, and I'm candidate number 1 to ensure that my marriage is solemnized.
Achima Tumona, Lookuptv.
All right, now it is time for the big number tonight here on Lookuptv and Lookup Weekend. I do welcome you to be part of the program by actually engaging us on our socials. Atamoa Brian on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag we are using tonight is the big number. Let's get into the figures tonight. Now tonight on the big number, we dive deep into the 20 billion debts owed to hospitals by the insurer, that is the NHIF. Now it is time for this particular program where we dive deep into the most pressing issues affecting our nation. Tonight our focus is on the mounting debt that the National Hospital Insurance Fund owes hospitals across the country. Let's take a closer look at this alarming situation. Now the NHIF plays a crucial role in providing healthcare access to Kenyans. Nearly 80% of Kenyans have no private insurance and depend on the National Health Insurance Fund, which is also the backbone of President William Ruto's Universal Healthcare Coverage Plan. Now, in public hospitals that still accept NHIF cards as a mode of payment, services paid for by the insurer are either not available or require patients to visit private facilities for expensive tests. However, an alarming trend has emerged, a growing debt owed to hospitals. Let's take a closer look at these numbers. Now, the total money owed is 20 billion, which is from April to June 2023. This gets to affect a huge population, and hospitals and rural hospitals have about 350 rural hospitals which have also been affected. These figures are staggering and have far-reaching implications for both patients and the healthcare providers. But what does this mean for service delivery? Now, with hospitals burdened by the NHIF debt, the impact on service delivery is severe. Let's examine some key consequences with the stalemate, with this particular stalemate. Now, kidney failure patients are the ones to suffer the most, as on average, a single dialysis session costs between 9,500 to about 16,000 Kenya shillings. Now, the repercussions of this debt crisis are widespread, affecting patients, healthcare workers, and the overall healthcare system. But what steps has the government taken to tackle this particular issue? I want us to listen to Health CS Susan Nahumicha.
On disbursement of funds to the National Health Insurance, NHIF fund. However, I am happy to report PCS, as at this morning, I received a call from Treasury that funds have now been disbursed to NHIF. And now the facilities, which I'm sure this is one of them, once your claims are verified, you are going to receive your payment. I want to call upon all other healthcare providers that they resume services, those that had stopped, as we process claims and ensure that we make payment. But again, I want to assure you that I am not going to oversee graft. I am going to ensure that we optimally use the scarce resources that are allocated to us.
Right, now recognizing the urgency of the situation, the government has implemented several interventions to address the NHIF debt crisis. Let's explore their efforts. Now, National Treasury Principal Chris Kipto announced the release of 33.3 billion to counties on Saturday. This is yesterday, to settle pending bills, with an additional 11.1 billion paid to NHIF. Now, the 11.1 billion Kenya shillings disbursement by the government now means that NHIF still owes hospitals across the country about 8.9 billion. President William Ruto, while campaigning, said that his government would prioritize NHIF to make healthcare affordable for all. Now, during Labor Day celebrations, President Ruto announced that the government had changed the contribution formula and that those paying 500 Kenya shillings, will part with 300 every month. Now, NHIF came up with two contract suggestions for the health providers, that is comprehensive and non-comprehensive. Now, all public and some mission and faith-based hospitals are under the comprehensive contract, while high-end private hospitals are under the non-comprehensive contract. High-end hospitals fall under non-comprehensive, which is Group C. Now, in this category, NHIF pays a daily fixed rate of 4,000 Kenya shillings. Now, the patient then bears the difference between this rebate and the hospital bill, either individually or through another insurance provider. Now, for example, at a high-end private hospital that charges 11,500 per night for a standard room, NHIF will cover only 4,000 and the patient will have to pay the rest. Now, in Contract B, that is mostly for mission and faith-based hospitals, some fall under comprehensive and others under non-comprehensive. Now, besides paying for a bed and all other services, NHIF, under this particular contract, normally co-pays for certain major surgical cases. This means a patient pays for some surgical operations. Now, hospitals under Contract A, which includes all government and public hospitals, this is where NHIF covers the full bill. That means a patient walks in with the card and walks out without paying anything. Now, that concludes today's Big Number segment. The NHIF debt crisis continues to impact healthcare in the country. All right. Up next is sports. Right, let's get sporty tonight. Kenya's football national team Harambee Starlets head coach Beldin Odemba has expressed the importance of the Council for East and Central Africa Football Association CECAFA tournament. Now, to the players, it is a place where they can get exposure of an international stage. Now, the junior Harambee Starlets team is in training camp since Friday last week at Kasarani Stadium ahead of their upcoming CECAFA Under-18 Women's Championship.
for the girls to play for the national team is exposure. Secondly, it is building. It is like a build up towards their careers for those who want to play football, or maybe have a career in football. It might not be playing, might be officiating, might be coaching at some point. I think it is first-hand to get the international exposure. Some of the schools have not yet released the girls that we called for in the provisional squad. We need the girls to come. The schools are looking at the girls to participate in the school games, and the school games are a forum for us as a national team to get the girls. So if we get the girls from the school games or the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association games, then we call them for the national teams. I think it is only fair that the schools release them, and also that KSSSA thinks about us and maybe adjust their calendar a little bit so that the girls get an opportunity to play for the national team.
Kimimi na Filipoa juu hii ni third call up yangu, na nikiangalia under 17 ya 2019 na hii this one is better kuliko hiyo ya 2017. So na hope tutabeba hii kitu tukiwa home juu tuna host.
Now, Christine Riaro led the team of David Sert, Joyce Osike and Tabitha Ojwang to emerge as the overall team winners of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour for the Nyanza edition. That was held at Nyanza Golf Course. Now, Francis Odhiambo guarded an impressive 41 Stableford points to emerge as the overall winner, beating over 100 golfers. Now, Christine Riaro's team, together with the team of Prashant Thaka, Jitan Pabari, Amir Patel and Ramesh Karia, will represent the Nyanza Golf Club at the grand finale of the tour at the Karen Country Club in November.
We practiced. Yeah, we prayed in the morning. We purposed to win. Yeah, so me and Tabitha, we called each other when we were beginning this. We added Joyce, and then we had to look for at least one male. And then we called Sate. He didn't seem to have a problem. We've been practicing, so it's out of some hard work, yeah, that we've won today. The winning team in Karen will win $1 million shillings that will go to the club. The club needs that money. We have to win in Karen as well. So we are going to put in the same effort we put in to win today. And we'll definitely come home with the prize money and all those gifts we'll get. That is what we purpose to do.
All right, now Miano Muraguri says Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 37, every person